Okay, let's think about your financial future for a minute. When you really boil it down, there are basically two roads you can go down. One path, well, it's packed with all the flashy stuff, the expensive cars, the fancy dinners, and it's all designed to make you look rich. But then there's this other path. It's a lot quieter, but it leads somewhere way more powerful, actually being rich. So let's dig into what that really means.
You know that feeling, right? Payday comes, you pay your bills, you live your life. It's not like you went out and bought a yacht or anything, just the usual stuff. And yet, there you are at the end of the month, staring at your bank account and just wondering, where did it all go? It's this super frustrating cycle, and honestly, it's not entirely your fault. The system is kind of designed to make that happen, to slowly and quietly drain your finances.
And this slide just nails the core problem, doesn't it? On the left, you've got the whole performance of looking wealthy. It's a life built on showing off an image of success. And on the right, you have the quiet reality of being wealthy, a life built on real financial security. And let's be real, for most of us, you can't have both at the same time. You have to pick one.
So yeah, this is where it gets really personal. Because every single dollar you spend is basically a vote for one of these two futures. It's a choice you are making every single day, whether you realize it or not. But here's the thing. Most people don't actually sit down and make a conscious choice. They just kind of drift. They end up on the path that society tells them is normal, the one filled with car payments, credit card debt, and constantly trying to keep up with everyone else's highlight reel. So let's really pull back the curtain on this so-called normal path, because once you actually see the map for what it is, you can see the cliff at the end and, not walk right off it. Okay, so it usually kicks off with this idea of the American dream, right? Getting that starter home. Except that starter home can now easily cost $500,000. But that sticker price? Oh, that's just the beginning. Once you pile on the mortgage, property taxes, insurance, then PMI, that's basically a penalty for not having a big down payment, and just keeping the lights on and fixing stuff, you're suddenly looking at a real cost of almost $4,400 every single month. So who on earth can actually afford that? I mean, the math here is just brutal. To handle that kind of housing payment without being one emergency away from disaster, your household really needs to be pulling in over $150,000 a year. And here's the kicker. Over 80% of households in America, they make less than that. Way less. And then, oh yeah, you've got what's basically a second mortgage for so many people, the car payment. The average monthly payment for a new truck or SUV is now over $900. It's literally wealth destruction on wheels, with cup holders. And look, it doesn't stop with the house and the car. This normal path is just full of these money pits. You've got fast food that somehow isn't even cheap anymore, designer logos that are just an excuse to charge you 10 times more, vacations you put on a credit card, and this never-ending pressure to upgrade your perfectly good phone. It's a death by 1,000 cuts that makes sure you never get ahead. Okay, so that's the gloomy path. But what if you decide to take the other one? Let's talk about the very first game-changing milestone on that journey. See, before you can even think about building wealth, you have to get out of what's called financial survival mode. This is a real thing, by the way. It's a psychological state where your brain is so swamped with just trying to figure out how to pay the next bill or handle a flat tire that it has zero bandwidth left to think about long-term growth or grabbing an opportunity. So, how do you break out of that trap? Well, you have to build a safety net. And for most people, the magic number that lets them finally breathe seems to be around $20,000. That's usually enough to cover your bills for 3 to 6 months if something goes wrong. That's the cushion. That's the buffer that finally lets your brain switch off the panic alarm and start actually making a plan. But listen, that 20 grand is so much more than just an emergency fund. Some people call it walking away money. It's the power to walk away from a terrible boss. It's the confidence to ask for that raise you deserve because, hey, you're not desperate. It's the freedom to maybe take a chance on a business idea. This kind of freedom, it changes absolutely everything. Okay, so you've escaped survival mode. You've got that cushion. Now what? How do you actually start building real wealth? And the answer isn't about getting lucky or timing the market. It's about having a dead simple system. So here it is, a super simple 5-step routine you can follow every single time a paycheck hits your account. Step 1. Take care of your must-haves first. We're talking roof over your head, food, utilities. Step 2. Pay the minimums on all your debts. This keeps your credit score safe. Step 3. Throw every spare dollar at building up that emergency fund until you hit your goal. Step 4. You start investing. If your job offers a 401k match, that is free money. You take it, no questions asked. And then step 5, and this is maybe the most crucial part, automate the whole thing.
Set up automatic transfers so your money goes where it's supposed to without you even thinking about it. Because your willpower is going to have bad days, but a good system runs no matter what.
And this, right here, is where it starts to get really, really fun. Because once that system is running and you've got that solid foundation, something almost magical starts to happen. Your wealth just starts to build on itself.
Now, who knows if Einstein really said this, but the idea is 100% true. Compound interest, people, it is the engine of wealth. It's this incredible force that can either work for you or against you. If you're in debt, it's a monster, but when you're investing, it's the most powerful friend you have. If you understand it, you earn it. If you don't, well, you end up paying it to someone else. And just look at this timeline. It shows you exactly how this thing works in real life. That first 100 grand, man, that's the toughest. It's a grind. It might take you 8 long years. But then look, the next 100,000 only takes 5 years. And by the time you're hitting $600,000, your money is now making more money than you are. The snowball is officially becoming an avalanche.
So, all of this leads to the big question, right? What is the actual goal here? What does it even mean to be rich? I promise you, it's probably not what you think.
And you might not need nearly as much as you imagine. Just check out this example. Let's say you have $500,000 invested in a simple broad market index fund. Historically, that might give you a return of about 8.5% a year. That means your investments are spitting out over 42 grand a year in passive income. That's enough to cover the average person's living costs. And the most important part? You're not even touching that original $500,000. You're just living off the growth. That's the moment work becomes something you get to do, not something you have to do.
So here's what it all boils down to. Real, true wealth isn't about having more stuff. It's not about the fancy car or the bigger house. It's about having more choices. It's about owning your time, which is the one thing you can never, ever get back. So at the end of the day, it really comes down to this one simple, but definitely not easy choice. Remember, every single dollar is a vote for the life you want. The question is, which path are you going to choose? The one where you look wealthy or the one where you actually are?